Saturday afternoon. Uh, Time has gotten all the way away from me. I am learning though to not let that stress me out. Um, in my um, life of basically realizing who I am, I have dealt with a lot of like stress when it comes to time. I believe that is where the enemy had attacked me for so long in my time. It was never enough time. I was a single mother. At one point in my single motherhood, I was a full time worker, working the graveyard shift. Graveyard, key point, put you in a grave. Graveyard shift, and I was working full time. I have always burned my candle at both ends. Main reason is because I don't know if anybody else deals with this, but on my journey, so the reason I'm saying the journey to being a chosen one is because it's basically your whole life that prepares you for being a chosen one, right? And you don't understand it. Honestly, if you could actually mistake the things you go through as being a curse, and you take on the mindset that I'm just cursed. There's no getting out of this. I'm just cursed. And I took on that mindset for a long time. But I always felt like time was against me. It was never enough time to be the mother I desired to be. It was never enough time to be the worker. Right now, this is not this channel, but on my other channel, I talk a lot about being torn. I am trying to be an entrepreneur, but because that's not paying me as of yet, I have to also be a full-time employee. But the conflicts with the employeeship is that I'm disabled. And I deal with a lot of discrimination from being disabled. I deal with a lot of challenges, not even just challenging yourself to work. You're dealing with coworkers mistreating you. You're dealing with it is so much you deal with. So I want to give up that working and all of that, and I want to be a art. I'm an artist, but I want my art to actually make money so that I can have more time to do what God put me on the earth to do. Like literally, He didn't put me here to work all the time. Work to live and live to work. Hustle hard until it hurts. Work your fingers down to the bone. And once you pay your bills, ain't got nothing to come home with. Hey, once you pay your bills, ain't got nothing to come home with. Once you pay your bills, ain't got nothing to come home with. Yeah. That ain't what he put us there, put us here on this earth for. That's not what he put me here for, to work a 9 to 5 and barely survive. That is of the enemy. That is not of God. So I'm trying to break free of that, but it's very hard after. See, the thing is that 9 to 5 is meant to extract everything good out of you. Your good energy, extract your good time, extract your good mental focus. It takes the best part of you out of your day, the best you at your highest height. It takes that and it gives it to a 9 to 5 that barely pays your bills. So once you're off that 9 to 5, you're drained, you're depleted. They've extracted everything out of you. And now it's time for me to sit before my goals, my passion, my purpose, and I have nothing but fumes left over to devote to that. So that's where the conflict is. So it always feels like there's just not enough time to even live sometime, not enough time to breathe, not enough time. And that has been my biggest battle, one of my biggest battles. And so now I'm like, oh, I have this channel and I haven't had the time to devote to it. So many things we would do if we ever had the time. But they so conveniently take all of our time, our best time, and more time each year. We've become more and more busy. There's this one video I love, Shawshank Redemption, the movie, and this older gentleman gets out, and he's like, the world done went and got itself busy, and that's what we are. They've simplified so many things in life, but now it was just simplified not to make our lives easier, but to get more work out of us, to extract more out of these depleted vessels, right? So, and also a distraction to never, ever, ever get to your purpose and passion and the whole point of you being on this earth, right? So I said, I'm not gonna, this channel, I believe God has been wanting me to do for a long time. And I had been stuck on another passion of mine, which is justice. And it's like, I said, I'm not going to rush this one. I'm going to do it in the timing that God gives me the time to do it. And I believe that when you're doing what God has you to do, would have you to do, you can do it in less time than something else, right? So though I devoted everything to my other channel and my TikTok, and which both concern justice, which has been a lot of work to barely move inches forward. This opposing, I believe, is going to be less work. Not saying I'm not going to do anything, but less work and moving further ahead off of less work, because this is where I'm supposed to be, right? Okay, so because of that whole rant, once y'all get to know me, you're gonna know I rant, I get off track. I believe I have show signs of ADHD. Girl, I be all over the place and back, but I do try my best to stay focused, right? But I will kind of free flow, right? I'm better when I have notes in front of me than when I'm just straight talking. But we were supposed to finish that story time about my aunt, one of the biggest, no, she's the biggest narcissist that has been in my life. I love her dearly, but she has done a number on me. And I was telling you, in the description box, you can check out parts 1, 2. Now this is part 3, of basically how I cut ties with her for good after almost 2.5 decades, right? Okay, so back to the thing. She was, this time I was taken aback. I'm thinking I told my daughter, my adult daughter, that I literally think she's being real this time. And my daughter's like, she ain't being real, right? She was saying that she wanted to help me get out of this situation I was in. I was in a bad situation where I had let my brother-in-law stay with me. And you know how really you should never let anybody stay with you, because it never usually works out right. They end up staying longer than they're supposed to. They end up thinking that your stuff is now theirs. They don't want to pay what they claim they were going to pay. And it just becomes more of a burden to you than it should have been. And when you're helping somebody out the kindness of your heart, it should not burden you. And that's why I got stuck sometimes, because I'm always like, I don't mind going through a harder path if I can help you. But that's if you really need the help. What happens with entitled people and narcissistic people, they don't necessarily need the help. They need to kick in more for themselves, right? But they don't need the help, because the help is just making them more lazy. Like, honestly, they're becoming dependent on your help rather than getting up, depending on God for one, running to God when they need things. I always used to say, if they run to me so much, like if they just stop by God, go to God first, go to Jesus first. I can't help you like he could help you. But they bypass Jesus to call me. Hey, Keita, you think you can do me a favor? Like, literally. But then when I need them, I pick up the phone. Oh, you have reached the voicemail of, or you know how I would feel bad when someone's calling me and I push ignore because I know that they know because it did not ring all the way through. Oh, baby, they don't feel bad when they do that to you. When you need somebody and there's no one to be found around, right? Like, oh, so I was thinking that became a bad situation with him. I could probably do that story time another time, but that became bad. So my aunt was coming in as though she was going to help me get out of this situation. Now, what ended up making it worse is because my aunt, I don't like to tell her, like I always had the feeling it's like you don't fully trust a narcissist. You know, like, okay, you love them and you want to trust them. And you believe that deep down inside somewhere, they literally, under pressure, would do the right thing by you, right? Which is usually wrong, but you think deep down inside they love you and they wouldn't do certain things. Certain things are off limits to even them. And so I'm thinking she really is meaning the best for me. So she got hold of some information. I don't like to tell her nothing. The narcissists in my life, I literally will tell them like light things, like nothing really super personal, nothing that I know once I tell you, you're literally finna tell everybody. You're gonna lie and say, I never said that. I don't know how they found that out. And you know you only told them. They're gonna spread it out. They might as well make a Facebook post. If you're gonna tell a narcissist anything, you, rather than tell that narcissist, you should get on Facebook and make a public post of what you wanted to stay secret and between you and that narcissist, because that's literally basically what you're doing once you tell them. And then they're gonna lie and say they never said that. It was not them, it was somebody else. That's how they do. Okay, so I don't tell her stuff that I don't want the world to know. Any narcissist, I would not tell you what I don't want to post on Facebook because everyone's gonna know, right? So someone told her something. They insinuated that that my brother-in-law was doing some illegal activities, like basically, 420. We'll just say that he was basically making extra money with 420. We'll say it like that. We on YouTube and that's it. So she heard somebody say, oh, that's all he do anyway. Like, girl, he don't do. So she overheard a conversation about him. And then she quickly came to me and said that you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there before you end up in trouble, before you end up in jail behind something he's doing. And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I don't stay up his butt, so I don't know what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like that. We were coming and going and things, but I know it still wasn't really working out. So he was like, it was like a spirit of despise when he comes around. I'm like, just go. I don't even want you. I don't even want to look at you. I don't want to hear your name. I don't. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of flyby. We wouldn't really see each other like that. So she comes in as though she's trying to help me. And I'm thinking she really means it this time because she is so believable. Like, if this act should have got an Oscar. This one should have got an Oscar because she literally fooled me. Oops. Really? And she never fools me because I always kind of know what they're up to, even when they're being secretive and they're saying, oh no, I was just trying to help. Oh no, I didn't say. No, you know what it really is. You know they really said that. You know they're not trying to help if no gain is in it for them. You know that, right? But this time I literally was trying to believe her. So she was like, just you, I know you trying to move to get to downsize so that you can afford this inflated bull crap. Like literally that's keeping us more stuck to our 9 to 5s and now having to pick up more 9 to 5s if you didn't notice, but that's what they're doing. Um, so and she was like, well, I'm going to be homeless because she had been displaced from the hurricane that had came through. So she had already been like basically living in a hotel. Her trailer was basically condemned. She could not go back in it. And God saved her by sending a hurricane, because then she was able to put all that she said was hurricane damage, that girl, she was able to put it off on the hurricane. And so they was paying for her to stay in a hotel. During the time she was in a hotel, literally like family members checked on her like once or twice. I was the one always going out of my way after work to see if she's all right, bringing my little niece and nephews. If you know me, I have a whole bunch of kids. I only have one child, due to my husband being wrongfully incarcerated, and by me still being with him and trying to fight for his freedom, I am not available for another man, because that is my husband, through better or worse, not better or better, right? So I stayed, I fought, and because of it, I don't really have kids, but I have kids around me all the time. You know, I love kids. So I was bringing the kids out there to see and sit with her, because the narcissist would just make you so like basically feel so sorry for them. Oh, I'm so depressed. And I have 2 disabled sisters. So I know how depression can set in when you're disabled and you're just sitting in the house. I don't want nobody to go through that. So I'm going out, I'm taking her to the store, I'm doing this, doing that. Not asking for hardly nothing. She may give me $5, $10 of gas and bought me something to eat. But literally, like I said, time was my biggest issue. She's taking this big, huge chunk of my time. And in return, I've got a meal and maybe $5 to $10. Like, if you weigh it, it's not equal, right? But somehow everything that they give you is more than the biggest gift you give. The least thing they do is bigger than the biggest, humongous favor or thing that you have done. And you can never pay them back for this, even if you've done this so many times, right? So I was really the one there while she was displaced. Everyone else kind of basically, like I got that story time about the family, they basically just let her go when they thought that she bought that phone in my mother's name the night my mother passed unexpectedly from outpatient surgery. So my mother just passed, and the first thing on your mind is, oh, I can go get a new phone, and nobody will know, because they'll think she did it, and you can't verify with her because she's not here anymore. Like, how disgusting. But everybody let her go after that. I wanted to see the best in her. I'm like, I don't even want to believe you can do nothing that low. I won't believe it. Just forget it. Just let it go. Let me mourn my mother. Let me mourn my mother. You didn't buy that phone. That's fine. Let it go. Okay, so everyone else let her go. So it's nobody but me basically going, checking on her. Crazy. So she's like basically putting it together that, hey, I need to find a place to stay and you also need help. So what if I pay what you need to break your lease, and then you move to, that will get rid of him, and then you move to another place and just let me stay there a little while until I find something. Now, if you know anything, I'm in Florida. Florida, you cannot hardly move. I mean, waiting lists are 2 to 3, 4 years. Everything is so super expensive, though this is what makes no sense to me. You see these fancy huge apartments being put everywhere. Every random open spot, they're building apartments, but they're not building them for us. These apartments are $2,000 to $3,000 a month, so they know they're not building it for us. They're building it for the top tier, the top of the tier. And we're down here barely can even the hood apartments are 1,000 plus a month, which is 3 times what they used to be. Because in the hood, you can live under $500 a month for rent just in 2019 and even in 2020. They did not raise that rent that high until 2022, 3, and 4. That's when they're like, oh my God, people can't find nowhere to stay. How about we make it so unaffordable for you to not be able to stay in anything? Even exploiting the extended stay hotels. That's expensive. They don't want us to. This ain't that video, but this is a design. They don't want us to live. They want us homeless for real. They really do. They want a lot more people on those streets. Though they want to look down on people on the streets, they want us on them streets. So she was trying to act as though she was helping me out. It is so hard to move in Orlando. So I started maybe the year before, early in the year before, even just looking. Places were saying the list is this long. Some places won't even let you on the list. Though the list is long, they won't let you join it. So it was so difficult. I went from here to there, east side, west side, outside surrounding areas. By me being so busy with my family and my entrepreneurship and working full time, and also being a caregiver to my sister who, boy, a lot. I've been doing a lot. And even in that time, usually things like that, like preparing to move, would get away from me. But that year, I literally started earlier, just looking, going from this side to that side. You're really not finding nothing. You don't have nothing that you can afford. They want you to make 3 times the rent. Knowing how, if rent $3,000, you literally think I make $9,000 a month? Where could I make $9,000 a month? Well, my entrepreneurship could, if I could ever get it off the ground. But because you're taking all my time to not ever be able to, it's all connected, right? That's all I'm trying to say. It's all connected. And I don't know where you want me to live, because you know I don't make that much. So it was basically like a wild goose chase trying to find an apartment. But I was trying to find one. If worst came to worst, I was just going to stick it out where I was with the inflated rent that I really can't afford. So also my aunt was looking for her own place. So I was taking her around. She can't drive. She's disabled as well. So, but even with my disabilities, I still have some ability, and I use that, and I thank God for the amount of ability that I do have, and I'm still able to survive off of. But she can't drive like that, you know. So I was taking her from side to side everywhere, coming out there, seeing about her after I get off of work, and just doing the most. And it seemed like she was not looking for apartments herself. And it was like, okay, I can help you. Help means you still put forth effort. Help does not mean you stop putting forth effort and I just do everything for you. Help means I'm assisting you, which means you need to, on the outside of it, still look for things for you. So months are going by. I haven't found nothing. They ended up, I think it was to the point where they were going to let her, she had been at the hotel for over a year. So they had to, them people don't pay that much after a hurricane displacement, right? Eventually they're going to part ways with you. So she ends up going to another hotel, but she literally only has this hotel for a much shorter amount of time. I think she was able to get that extension through. Oh my God, I got a story about that too. I'm so glad I could tell these stories. Yes, I'm so glad I could finally tell these stories, girl. But so she wasn't going to be able to be in that hotel alone. So it was becoming very, very like detrimental that I find her something now, right now. And this is completely out of my hands, but I better find her something now. And I'm like, if I was about to be homeless myself, just myself, I would not be depending on you to help me. I would be trying to find, if you help me, nice, but I'm going to be trying to find me something just in case you can't come through. But my aunt was not like that. She was depending on me to find the apartment for her. And I didn't peep that she was doing too much outside of when we were looking. I have another YouTube channel. I even did a video with her trying to help her, trying to break her story because she said that she was basically wrongfully, that they didn't appraise her property correct. So she was put out all this money and all types of stuff. But that'll be a whole nother story. So I'm trying to break her story, possibly raise some funds for her. Even though when I tried to raise funds for me, they won't even look at my video, my content. They won't share, they won't like, they won't nothing. They acknowledge nothing. Nothing. If I seen a family member working as hard as I do to try to get out of a rut, I literally would assist them, especially since that family member is the one that I lay all my weight on. If I helped you move up, wouldn't that make it where you could afford to help me more? Like, literally, it makes no sense in the narcissist's mind. They don't want you to move up. They want you at the bottom of the barrel, but they want you to help them too. I can't help even me at the bottom of the barrel. If you help me get up, then I can pull you up once I get up. But as long as I'm trying to climb up the ladder and you're pulling me down, and you need my help too, as you're pulling me down, we both finna drown. We both finna hit the ground. We both, like, literally, they don't see it that way. But wouldn't do nothing with wouldn't help with nothing with my YouTube. Nothing. Someone even asked, why don't you watch Kita's channel? She does some good videos. She's really funny. And it was all, well, it was always some type of excuse as to why they could not easily, I mean, it's so easy to support. I've been traveling and driving you all over town looking for apartments. The least you could do is like a video, share a video. Like, literally, if someone was doing that for me, driving me back and forth, up and down, taking all their time, I would freely like their video, share their video, help them get whatever they were trying to do accomplished. Plus, I am gifted in so many multiple ways. If I had a family member that had that much gift, I have gifts from God, and you're going to see them on this channel. I can paint anything I look at. I can draw anything I look at. I am wonderful with words. I was a songwriter. I was a rapper. I have so much talent in me. I was a spoken word poet. I have so many gifts. If someone I knew had that much, I wouldn't even want them to fail. I would be like, you got too much in you to not put your all. I'm going to help you. I'm going to share. I'm going to say, hey, my niece is the best at this, and that. I'm going to do something because I don't want you to sit here and live in mediocrity, running to a 9-to-5, barely surviving, and I don't even lift the finger to push like. But I love you. I love you more than you love yourself, but I will not lift the finger to push like. So I'm about to head to, I hate to keep doing this to you guys, but I guess now it's a series. So we're going to continue this story. So this is where it's leading up to. So we did all this job search. basically I'm stuck in a bad situation with someone else, so she wants me to get that person out so she can come in and we can help each other. Imagine it actually being a situation where a narcissist is mutually helping you as you help them. But that's where we're at. So I'll pick up right there with finding the apartment. All right, guys. Talk to you later.